I'm standing in my parents' kitchen at 6 p.m. on a Friday, wearing the apron my mother bought me 3 Christmases ago. It has little flowers on it and says, "Home is where the heart is," in cursive script. I'm chopping vegetables for a dinner I didn't plan, for guests I haven't met, because my mother called this morning and said, "We need you to cook tonight. Important people are coming." This is my role. This has always been my role. The daughter who cooks and serves and cleans while my parents show off my golden child siblings to anyone who will listen. My brother Nathan is a mid-level manager at a consulting firm. According to my parents, he's climbing the corporate ladder and destined for greatness. He makes $75,000 a year and still asks Dad for money every few months. My sister Grace is a high school English teacher. According to my parents, she's shaping young minds and making a real difference in the world. She makes $52,000 a year and complains constantly about student loans. Me? I'm the disappointment, the one who does something with computers that my parents have never bothered to understand, the one who shows up to family dinners and gets handed an apron instead of a wine glass. "Victoria, the carrots need to be julienned, not chopped," Mom says, sweeping into the kitchen in a designer dress she bought specifically for tonight. Mr. Chen is very particular about presentation. Robert Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, one of the largest tech conglomerates in the Pacific Northwest. My parents have been trying to get a meeting with him for months. Dad's commercial real estate firm wants to pitch him on a property deal, and Mom thinks her interior design services would be perfect for his office renovation. They're desperate to impress him, which is why they called me this morning, not to invite me to dinner, but to order me to cook it. "I need everything perfect," Mom continues, adjusting a place setting for the 3rd time. "This could be huge for your father's business. Mr. Chen's company is expanding. If we can get our foot in the door—" "I know, Mom. You've told me 6 times. Don't be snippy. I'm just saying this is important, more important than whatever you had planned tonight." I had plans. Dinner with colleagues from work, a celebration because our division just closed a major partnership deal. But when Mom calls and says jump, I'm expected to ask how high. That's how it's always been. Dad walks in, adjusting his tie. "Is everything ready? They'll be here in 30 minutes. "Almost," Mom says. "Victoria is handling the food." "Good, good." Dad doesn't look at me. He never really looks at me. I'm part of the furniture, useful but not worthy of attention. "Make sure you stay in the kitchen during dinner. We don't want it to seem like we need help." "So I'm cooking a 5-course meal but also invisible?" "Victoria." Mom's voice has that warning edge. "Don't be difficult. You know how these things work." I do know. I've known for 32 years. I'm the help, the backup, the daughter they mention in passing if someone directly asks, "Don't you have another child?" Usually followed by, "Oh yes, Victoria. She does something with computers, not as impressive as Nathan's career or as noble as Grace's teaching, but she's fine." Fine. That's the word they always use. Fine. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A text from my assistant, Jamie. "Boss, the Harper meeting moved to Monday. Chen Industries confirmed the partnership announcement for next week. Champagne ready?" I silence my phone and go back to julienning carrots. The doorbell rings at exactly 6:30. My parents flutter into position like actors taking the stage. Mom's smile is wide and practiced. Dad's handshake is firm and eager. I can hear them from the kitchen, their voices pitched slightly higher than normal, the way people talk when they're trying too hard. "Mr. Chen, what an honor. Please, come in, come in." "Thank you for the invitation. I hope I'm not too early." That voice. I know that voice. I freeze with the knife halfway through a carrot. "Not at all. Perfect timing. Can I get you a drink? Wine? Whiskey?" "Just water, thank you. I'm trying to pace myself this week. A lot of important meetings." Of course, of course. We're so glad you could make time for us. Please sit. Dinner will be ready shortly. We have a wonderful meal prepared." I put down the knife and walk very quietly to the kitchen door, positioning myself where I can see into the dining room without being seen. My mother notices me and makes a sharp gesture. "Stay back. Stay hidden." Robert Chen is sitting at my parents' dining table looking exactly like he does in the office. Impeccably dressed, politely attentive, completely unaware that his vice president of strategic partnerships is currently standing in the kitchen wearing a flower print apron. My parents don't know what I do. They've never asked, not really. When I try to tell them about work, their eyes glaze over. "That's nice, dear," is the usual response, followed by an immediate change of subject to Nathan's latest project or Grace's classroom achievements. They don't know I'm VP of Strategic Partnerships at Chen Industries. They don't know I spent the last 6 months negotiating the Harper deal that Robert is about to announce publicly. They don't know that the important meetings he mentioned include the board presentation I'm giving on Monday. They don't know Robert Chen is my CEO, the man I report to directly, the person I have one-on-one meetings with twice a week. They don't know because they've never asked. "So, Mr. Chen," Dad begins, launching into what I recognize as his rehearsed pitch. "I wanted to talk to you about the Westlake property. Prime location, perfect for corporate expansion." "Let's enjoy dinner first," Mom interrupts smoothly. "Business can wait. Tell us about Chen Industries." "It must be so exciting running such a successful company." "It's a team effort," Robert says diplomatically. "I have an exceptional executive team. They're the reason we're successful." "I'm sure you're being modest," Mom gushes. "Though I did read that profile of you in Seattle Business Monthly. Very impressive. Self-made success story." I start plating the appetizers, seared scallops with lemon butter. Mom wanted something elegant but not too pretentious. I arrange them carefully on the good china, the set my parents only use for important guests. As I'm reaching for the fourth plate, my phone buzzes again. I pull it out, trying to be quiet. It's Robert, texting from the dining room. "Running late for dinner meeting? Might need to reschedule Harper presentation prep to Sunday. You available?" I stare at the text. He's sitting 20 feet away having dinner with my parents, not knowing I'm here, not knowing these are my parents, not knowing they've spent years treating me like I'm less important than my siblings while simultaneously using me as unpaid household help. I text back, "In the middle of something. We'll confirm tomorrow." Mom appears in the kitchen doorway, making urgent hand gestures. "The appetizers?" "Right." I pick up 2 plates and hand them to her. She takes them without acknowledging me and returns to the dining room. "This looks wonderful," I hear her say. "I hope you enjoy it. It's a family recipe." It's not. It's from the cookbook I bought myself when I moved out at 22. The same cookbook I've used to make food for countless family dinners that I'm never invited to as a guest, only as help. I finish plating the remaining appetizers and stand at the kitchen counter, listening to my parents' conversation drift through the doorway. "So, Mr. Chen, you must work with some brilliant minds. Do you find it challenging to identify real talent in the tech industry?" "Not if you know what to look for," Robert replies. "Competence is usually obvious. The people who do the real work tend to stand out from those who just talk about it." "That's so true," Dad agrees, though I doubt he's listening. He's just waiting for his turn to pitch the real estate deal again. "And family? Do you have family in the area?" "My parents are in Taiwan. I visit when I can. And you? I see you have some family photos here." "Oh, yes." Mom's voice brightens. This is her favorite topic. "We have 3 children. Our son Nathan works in consulting. Very impressive career. And our daughter Grace is a teacher. So rewarding to see her shape young minds." I wait. Count to 5, 10, 15. "And your third child?" Robert asks. "Oh, Victoria. Yes. She does something with computers. We're not entirely sure what, to be honest. She's very private about her work. Not as outgoing as Nathan or as passionate as Grace, but she's fine. She helps out when we need her." Fine. There's that word again. I pick up the empty appetizer plates they've left by the kitchen door and return to my station by the stove. The main course is almost ready. Herb-crusted lamb with roasted vegetables and twice-baked potatoes. It smells incredible. It always does. I'm a good cook. I taught myself because nobody else was going to teach me anything useful. The food is exceptional, Robert says. You'll have to give me the name of your caterer. Oh, we didn't use a caterer, Mom laughs. This is all us, family effort. I grip the spatula harder. Family effort. As if she did anything more than tell me what to make and criticize the presentation. Impressive, Robert says. Cooking at this level takes real skill. I'm plating the main course when I hear Grace's voice. She must have arrived late. My sister has a key to the house and has never learned to knock. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible. Oh my God, something smells amazing. Did you hire someone? No, Mom says quickly. Victoria is handling the cooking tonight. Victoria's here? Where is she? In the kitchen. She's busy. I should say hi. Grace, don't. We have an important guest. Mr. Chen, this is our daughter Grace. Grace, this is Robert Chen, CEO of Chen Industries. Oh wow, it's so nice to meet you. I've read about your company. You do such interesting work. Thank you. I hear you're a teacher. That's admirable work. I try to make a difference. It's not as glamorous as running a tech company, but someone has to educate the next generation, right? I finish plating and start carrying dishes to the dining room. I time it so I arrive just as Grace is launching into her usual speech about the importance of public education. I place Robert's plate in front of him, careful to stay slightly behind him, head down, playing the role of invisible help. This looks magnificent, Robert says, looking down at his plate. Then, as I'm turning away, thank you. I freeze. He never says thank you to servers at restaurants. It's not that he's rude, he's just used to people serving him. He thanks people he actually sees as people. You're welcome, I say quietly, keeping my face turned away. I deliver the rest of the plates quickly and retreat to the kitchen before anyone can say anything else. Through the doorway, I can hear Grace dominating the conversation now, talking about her students and her lesson plans and her philosophy of education. Mom and Dad are letting her, proud of their passionate, articulate daughter who's so good at talking to important people. Nathan arrives during the main course. I hear him apologizing for being late, hear my parents introducing him to Robert, hear Nathan launch into his usual spiel about market trends and business strategy. You're in strategic partnerships, aren't you? Nathan says to Robert. That must be fascinating work. I've been studying partnership models in my current role. We have an excellent partnerships division, Robert replies. My VP of Strategic Partnerships handles most of that work. I'd love to pick their brains sometime, Nathan says. I'm always looking to learn from the best. I'm washing dishes, hands deep in soapy water, when I hear my mother's voice get sharp. Victoria, we need dessert. Immediately. Right. Because nothing says family dinner like being ordered around by your mother while she impresses a CEO who has no idea you exist as anything other than kitchen help. I dry my hands and pull out the chocolate torte I made this morning before work. It's perfect. Dark chocolate ganache, raspberry coulis, gold leaf garnish. It looks like it came from a high-end bakery. It took me 3 hours. I'm slicing it when Nathan walks into the kitchen. Hey, Vic, long time no see. I've been here the whole time, in the kitchen, where I always am at these things. Right. He doesn't sound interested. The food is really good. You should start a catering business or something. I have a job, Nathan. Yeah, your computer thing. How's that going? Fine. Cool. He's looking at his phone, not at me. Hey, that Chen guy seems really connected. Think you could get me a meeting with him? I have some ideas I'd love to pitch. I stare at my brother, the golden child, the one climbing the corporate ladder, the one who makes $75,000 a year and thinks that qualifies him to pitch ideas to a CEO. I'll see what I can do, I lie. Awesome. You're the best, sis. He pats my shoulder and leaves, already back on his phone. I finish plating the dessert and carry it out to the dining room. The conversation has shifted to real estate. Dad is in full pitch mode now, talking about property values and market projections and why the Westlake location is perfect for Chen Industries' expansion. Robert is listening politely, the way he does when people pitch him things at networking events, attentive but non-committal. I've seen him do it 100 times. I place his dessert in front of him. As I'm pulling my hand back, I catch his eye by accident. There's a flicker of recognition, then confusion, then, "Victoria?" He says my name like a question, like he's not quite sure, like he can't reconcile the VP he knows with the woman in the flower print apron standing in his hostess's dining room. The table goes silent. Mom looks at me, then at Robert, then back at me. "You know each other?" Yes," Robert says slowly, standing up. "Victoria, what are you doing here?" I should say something, anything, but the absurdity of the situation has caught up with me, and I feel something bubbling up in my chest. Not panic, not embarrassment, laughter. I start laughing, not delicate, polite laughter, full, uncontrollable laughter, the kind that makes your shoulders shake and your eyes water. "Victoria," Mom hisses, "what are you doing?" I can't stop. Robert is staring at me, and then he's staring at the apron, and then he's looking around the dining room at my parents' confused faces and my siblings' blank expressions, and I can see him putting the pieces together. "Wait," Grace says. "How do you know Mr. Chen?" Robert stops, starts again. "Victoria is my vice president of strategic partnerships. She's one of my direct reports. We have meetings twice a week." The silence that follows is deafening. Mom's face goes through several colors. Dad's mouth opens and closes. Nathan and Grace look like someone just told them the sky is green. "Your VP?" Mom manages. "Victoria? Our Victoria." "I wasn't aware she was your Victoria," Robert says carefully. "I was just aware she's my incredibly talented VP who closed the Harper deal and is presenting to our board Monday. What is she doing serving dinner in an apron?" "She's helping out," Dad says weakly. "She's always helped with family dinners." "Family dinners." Robert looks at me, really looks at me. "Victoria, is this why you texted that you were in the middle of something?" I finally managed to stop laughing. "Yes, sir, I'm making dessert, which you're eating, which I spent 3 hours on this morning before our strategy meeting." "You made this?" He looks down at the chocolate torte. "You made all of this? This isn't catered?" "Nope, all me. The family effort my mother mentioned, that's me, in the kitchen, alone, where I've been every single family dinner for the last 10 years. Mom finds her voice. "Victoria, I don't appreciate your tone." "With respect, Mrs. Parker," Robert interrupts, "I don't think you appreciate your daughter, at all." He turns to me. "You're presenting to the board on Monday, the Harper deal, the biggest partnership acquisition we've made in 3 years. You closed that deal. You negotiated terms that saved us 40% over their initial proposal. You built relationships with their executive team that are going to benefit us for years. And you're here wearing an apron because your parents called you to cook them dinner?" "It's Friday," I say quietly. "I had plans, celebration dinner with the team. But when my mother calls, I show up. Why?" It's such a simple question. Why? I don't have a good answer. "Because they're my family," I say finally. "Family that has no idea what you do for a living?" Robert looks at my parents. "You said she does something with computers?" "Your daughter is one of the most respected executives in the Pacific Northwest tech industry. She makes partnerships happen that most people can't even conceptualize. She's being courted by 3 competitors that I know of, all offering her significant raises that I'm going to have to match if I want to keep her. And you think she does something with computers?" Nathan speaks up. "She never told us she was a VP." "Did you ever ask?" Robert's voice is sharp. "Did any of you ever ask her what she does, what her title is, what her day looks like? Or did you just assume that because she's willing to cook you dinner, she's not important?" I should feel vindicated. I should feel satisfied. Instead, I just feel tired. 32 years, tired. I did tell you, I say quietly. I've told you dozens of times. I told you when I got promoted to director. I told you when I made VP. I told you about the Harper deal. You said, "That's nice, dear," and asked if I could make my stuffed mushrooms for Christmas. Mom's face is flushed. We didn't know it was such a big company. We thought it was just some tech startup. Chen Industries employs 14,000 people across 6 countries, Robert says. We're publicly traded. We're in the Fortune 500. Your daughter works in our executive building. She has a corner office. She parks in the executive garage. She makes... He stops. I shouldn't disclose her compensation, but let's just say it's significantly more than anyone else at this table. Grace looks at me like she's seeing me for the first time. You make more than Nathan? I make more than all 3 of you combined, I say, and I have for 5 years. Dad clears his throat. Well, this is certainly unexpected. Victoria, you should have told us you were working for Mr. Chen specifically. You would have what, Dad? Treated me differently? Used me for networking? That's worse. You know that, right? I think I should go, Robert says, standing. This is clearly a family matter. Please don't, Mom says desperately. The property deal. I'm not interested in the property deal, Mrs. Parker. I'm interested in understanding why my VP, one of my best executives, has been hiding her success from her own family. Or more accurately, why her family has been ignoring it. He looks at me. Victoria, take Monday off. In fact, take the week. We'll push the board presentation to the following Monday. You've earned time off, and you clearly have some things to work through here. Sir, I can present on Monday. Not arguing, Victoria. Take the time. That's an order from your CEO. His voice softens. You deserve better than this. From all of us. I'm sorry I didn't realize how you were being treated. You didn't know. I should have. I should have noticed that my VP never talks about her family, that she works holidays without complaint, that she's always available for last-minute asks. I thought you were dedicated. I didn't realize you were escaping. He nods to my parents. Thank you for dinner. Victoria made it excellent. You should be proud of her. If you're not, that's your loss. And then Robert Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, walks out of my parents' house, leaving behind a chocolate torte, a stunned family, and me, still wearing my flower print apron. The silence is absolute. Then Nathan speaks. Holy shit, Vic. You work for Chen Industries? Do you know how hard it is to get a job there? I don't just work there, Nathan. I'm on the executive leadership team. I've worked there for 7 years. I've told you this multiple times. But you never said it was a big deal, Grace protests. I said I got promoted to VP. How is that not a big deal? We thought you meant vice president of some small department, Mom says weakly. Not actual executive VP. I report directly to the CEO. That's what VP means at companies like this. Dad is staring at where Robert was sitting. He said you're being courted by competitors. 3 that I know of, probably more that I don't. For how much? And there it is, the first question about my career from my father, and it's about money. Enough that I bought a house in Medina last year. 4 bedrooms, Lakeview, paid cash. Mom's mouth falls open. You bought a house? You didn't tell us? Why would I? You've never visited my apartment? You don't know where I live? You call me when you need something cooked or when you want help moving furniture. That's it. That's not fair, Grace says. We're family. No, Grace. You're my parents' children. They're your family. They celebrate your achievements. They show up to your life. Me? I'm the help. The afterthought. The one who's fine and does something with computers. I untie the apron, fold it carefully, place it on the counter. I'm done with the cooking, with the pretending, with showing up every time you call and letting you treat me like I'm less important than I am. I'm done. Victoria, don't be dramatic, Mom starts. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being clear. I have a job that I'm good at. A career that I've built without any of your support or interest. A life that doesn't involve waiting for you to notice me. And I'm going back to it. I grab my purse and head for the door. Behind me, I hear Nathan say, "Should we stop her?" "How?" Dad replies. "We don't even know who she is." And that, I think as I walk to my car, is exactly the problem. I drive to the restaurant where my team is celebrating. They're 3 drinks in by the time I arrive, still in the black dress I wore under the apron, minus the flowery humiliation. "Boss," Jamie sees me first, "we thought you couldn't make it." "Change of plans," I say, sliding into the booth next to Marcus, our senior director. "What did I miss?" "Everything," Marcus grins. "Chen just sent a company-wide email about the Harper deal. Your name is mentioned 4 times. 4 times, Victoria. Do you know how rare that is?" I pull out my phone. Sure enough, there's the email from Robert, sent 20 minutes ago. It's professional, detailed, and gives credit where it's due. To me, to my team, to the 6 months of work that made this partnership possible. "Speech," someone calls out. "No speech, just drinks. I've had a night." "What happened?" Jamie asks. "You look like you've seen a ghost." More like my family saw me for the first time in 32 years. It was traumatic. For them, mostly. I don't elaborate. We drink, we celebrate, we talk about the Harper deal and Monday's board presentation, and the rumors that Chen Industries might acquire another company in Q3. Normal, work talk. The kind of conversation where people see me as competent, valuable, important. My phone starts buzzing around 10 p.m. Mom, Dad, Nathan, Grace, Mom again, Dad again. I silence it and order another drink. "Everything okay?" Marcus asks quietly. "Family stuff. Nothing I can't handle." "You sure? You seem off." "I'm fine." That word again. Fine. I hate that word. "Actually, no. I'm not fine, but I will be." Marcus nods. He's worked for me for 3 years. He knows when to push and when to back off. "Well, if you need anything, we're here. You're not just our boss. You're family." Chosen family, I think. The people who see you, who know your value, who celebrate your wins because they're genuinely happy for you, not because it reflects well on them. I get home around midnight. My phone shows 43 missed calls, 17 voicemails, 62 text messages. I don't listen to any of them. I pour myself water, take off the black dress, and fall asleep in my 4-bedroom house with the lake view that my parents have never seen. Saturday morning, I wake up to someone ringing my doorbell repeatedly. I check the security camera on my phone. It's Grace, looking determined and slightly panicked. I consider not answering, but that's the old Victoria, the one who shows up when called, the one who makes herself small to accommodate other people's comfort. New Victoria answers the door in pajamas with a clear message. "You don't get to demand my time anymore." "Grace, what are you doing here? How did you afford this house?" She's looking past me, eyes wide, taking in the foyer with its hardwood floors and the living room beyond with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the lake. "I worked for it. That thing I do with computers." "Victoria, please. Can we talk?" I step aside and let her in. She walks through my house like she's touring a museum, touching things lightly, staring at the view, the art on the walls, the furniture that costs more than her monthly salary. Wow, this is really nice. "Thank you. You bought this with cash?" "Yes." "Victoria, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell us you were successful?" "I did tell you, Grace. Multiple times. You weren't listening." She sits on my couch, which is probably the most expensive thing she's ever sat on, though she doesn't know that. "I honestly didn't know. I thought you were exaggerating when you talked about promotions and deals. I thought it was like when Nathan talks about his consulting work. You know, making it sound bigger than it is. Nathan does make it sound bigger than it is. I don't. I just tell you facts, and you assume I'm inflating them because why would boring Victoria have an impressive career? That's not fair. Isn't it? Tell me, Grace, when's the last time you asked me about my job? Not a polite how's work while checking your phone. Actually asked, actually listened to the answer. She's quiet for a long moment. I don't know. It's been never. The answer is never. You've never asked me about my work because you assumed it wasn't interesting. You assumed I wasn't interesting. That's why I stopped trying to tell you. Mom and Dad are freaking out, Grace says, changing the subject. They've been calling you all night. I know. I've been ignoring them. Victoria, you can't just walk out like that. They're your parents. They're the people who raised me to believe I'm less important than you and Nathan. They're the people who call me when they need something, but never when they want to celebrate something. They're the people who spent 32 years treating me like help. So, yes, Grace, I can walk out. I can walk out and never come back if I want. You don't mean that, don't I? What exactly am I getting from this family relationship? Validation, support, love? Because from where I'm sitting, all I get is demands and dismissal. Grace looks uncomfortable. We love you. Do you? Because love requires actually knowing someone. And none of you know me. You know the version of me that you've constructed. The boring one, the helpful one, the disappointment who does something vague with computers. But you don't know Victoria Parker, VP of Strategic Partnerships. You don't know the person I am at work. The person I've become despite you, not because of you. That's harsh. It's honest, and I'm tired of softening honesty to make you comfortable. My phone rings. It's Robert. I answer immediately, turning away from Grace. Victoria, I apologize for calling on a Saturday. It's fine, sir. What do you need? I need to apologize for last night, for not realizing, for putting you in that position. You didn't know they were my parents. You couldn't have known. I could have been more observant. You never talk about family. You work holidays without complaint. You're always available. I should have asked why. It's not your job to monitor my personal life. No, but it is my job to notice when my executives are struggling, and I missed it. So I'm sorry, and I'm serious about the time off. Take the week, rest, process, come back when you're ready. Sir, the Harper presentation can wait, will wait. You've earned this time off, Victoria. Take it. After we hang up, Grace says, That was Chen, your CEO? Yes. He called you on a Saturday to apologize. Apparently. Victoria, do you understand how insane that is? CEOs don't apologize to VPs. They don't call them on weekends to check in. Robert does. That's the kind of leader he is. That's why people want to work for him. And he saw you serving dinner in an apron. Yes. That must have been humiliating. For me? No. For Mom and Dad? Absolutely. As it should be. Grace is quiet for a while, looking out at the lake. Finally, she says, I was jealous of you, you know. Jealous? Of what? Of how easy things seemed for you. You didn't need validation like Nathan. And I did. You didn't need Mom and Dad's approval. You just existed independently. I thought it meant you didn't care. I didn't realize it meant you'd given up on getting their attention. I didn't give up. They never offered it in the first place. That's not true. They love us all. Grace, stop. Please stop defending them. I know you want to believe we had equal childhoods, but we didn't. You and Nathan got their attention, their pride, their interest. I got their indifference. And that's just fact. Last night proved it. They had no idea what I do for a living, no idea where I work, no idea that I'm successful, because they've never asked. In 32 years, they've never asked. What do you want them to do? What would fix this? I don't know if anything can fix it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Grace leaves around noon, promising she won't tell our parents where I live. I believe her. Grace is many things, but she's not a snitch. I spend the rest of Saturday doing nothing work-related. I read, I swim in the lake, I order takeout and watch bad television. I don't answer my phone. I don't check work email. I exist in a space that's entirely mine for the first time in longer than I can remember. Sunday afternoon, my doorbell rings again. This time it's Nathan. "Nice place," he says when I open the door. "Grace told me it was impressive, but wow." "Grace shouldn't have told you where I live." "She didn't. I followed her yesterday." "That's creepy, Nathan." "Maybe. Can I come in?" I let him in because I'm curious what the golden child has to say when he's not performing for our parents. He walks straight to the windows overlooking the lake. "This must have cost at least $2 million. $2.4. I got a good deal because the previous owners were relocating quickly." "And you paid cash?" "Yes." "Victoria, what the hell? How do you have that kind of money?" I work hard. I'm good at what I do. I get paid accordingly." "You make more than me?" "I make more than you, Grace, and our parents combined. I've made more than you for 5 years. I've tried to tell you. You've never been interested." Nathan sits on my couch, looking genuinely confused. "I don't understand. You're my little sister. You're supposed to be less successful than me. That's how it works." "Says who?" "Says, I don't know. Birth order, natural hierarchy. I'm the oldest. I'm supposed to be the most successful. That's how families work." "Nathan, you're 40 years old. If you're basing your self-worth on being more successful than your siblings, you need therapy." "That's not what I mean. I didn't expect this. Any of this. The house, the job, the CEO calling you on weekends. I thought you were doing okay. Not great, just okay. Because that's what you wanted to think. Because if I'm doing okay, then you're doing great by comparison. But I'm not doing okay. I'm excelling, and that threatens the narrative you've built about yourself. That's not fair." "It's completely fair. You and Grace have built identities around being the successful siblings, the ones Mom and Dad brag about, the ones with impressive careers. And I've let you have that. I've stayed quiet. I've played small, but I'm done." "So what? You're just going to cut us off? Stop being part of the family?" "I don't know yet. What I do know is that I'm not going to keep showing up to play a role that doesn't fit anymore. I'm not the help. I'm not the boring one. I'm not the disappointment. And if you can't see me as anything else, then maybe we don't have much of a relationship to preserve." Nathan leaves looking shell-shocked. I feel lighter. Monday morning, I don't go to work. Robert said to take the week, so I take the week. I go to a spa, I get a massage, I sit in a sauna and think about nothing. It's glorious. Tuesday, Mom shows up at my door. I see her on the security camera and consider not answering, but I've avoided this conversation long enough. "Victoria." She looks smaller than I remember, less put together. "Can we talk?" I let her in. She does the same thing Grace and Nathan did, stares at my house like it's evidence of something she doesn't understand. "This is beautiful," she says finally. "Thank you. I had no idea you could afford something like this." "You never asked." She flinches. "Good." "Victoria, about Friday night. I owe you an apology." "You owe me more than an apology, Mom. You owe me 32 years of actually seeing me." "That's not fair. I've always seen you." "Really? Then tell me what I do for a living, not something with computers. My actual title, my actual responsibilities." She's quiet. "You can't, can you? Because you've never asked. You've never cared enough to ask." "I cared. You were always so independent, so private. You didn't seem to need us the way Nathan and Grace did." "So you decided I didn't need you at all? That's not independence, Mom. That's neglect, disguised as respect for boundaries I never set." "I made mistakes." "You made choices. You chose to invest your attention in Nathan and Grace. You chose to treat me like help instead of family. You chose to call me only when you needed something. Those were active choices, not passive mistakes." Mom sits down without being invited. "What can I do to fix this?" "I don't know if you can, I don't know if I want you to. Because here's the thing. I've built a life without your approval, without your attention, without your validation. And that life is good, really good, better than anything I had when I was trying to earn your notice. So, you're just going to cut us off? I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to stop showing up when you call unless I actually want to be there. I'm going to stop cooking your dinners and serving your guests and playing the role of invisible help. And if that means we see each other less, then we see each other less. Victoria, you're my daughter. I love you. Do you? Because love looks like interest. Love looks like showing up. Love looks like celebrating wins and asking questions and actually knowing your child. And you've done none of that. So forgive me if I'm skeptical about your love right now. Mom starts crying. I don't comfort her. I'm not responsible for managing her emotions about her own bad parenting. I want to do better, she says finally. Tell me how to do better. Start by actually learning who I am. Not who you assumed I am, who I actually am. Read about Chen Industries. Understand what I do. Ask me questions and actually listen to the answers. Show up to my life without needing something from me. That's how you start. Okay, I can do that. We'll see. She leaves, and I feel exhausted. Confrontation is tiring, even necessary confrontation. Wednesday, I get an email from Robert. The Harper presentation has been rescheduled to the following Monday. The board is excited. The partnership is generating positive press. Everything is moving forward smoothly. Your team handled the prep without you, he writes. Turns out you've trained them well. They're ready. So take your time. Come back when you're ready. I spend Wednesday hiking, Thursday at a museum, Friday reading in a coffee shop, Saturday cleaning my house, Sunday meal, prepping for the week ahead. I don't see my family. They text occasionally, tentative messages that feel like they're walking on eggshells. I respond when I feel like it. I don't when I don't. Monday morning, I return to work. My corner office feels like home, in a way my parents' house never did. Jamie brings me coffee. Marcus stops by to run through the presentation one more time. The team is excited and nervous and ready. The board presentation goes perfectly. We lay out the Harper partnership terms, the projected revenue, the strategic advantages. The board asks tough questions. We have good answers. By the end, they're impressed. Exceptional work, Victoria, Robert says after, in front of the entire board. This is exactly the kind of strategic thinking we need. Afterward, my team takes me to lunch. We celebrate properly this time. No interruptions, no family obligations, just people who respect me and value my work. Speech! Marcus calls out again. This time, I give one. 6 months ago, we set out to land the partnership everyone said was impossible. We did it. Not because we're lucky, because we're good at what we do, because we work well together, because we don't give up. Thank you for trusting me to lead this. Thank you for doing the work, and thank you for being the kind of team I actually want to celebrate with. They applaud. It feels genuine. It feels earned. That evening, I get an email from Nathan. I've been thinking about what you said. You're right. I've been defining my success by comparison to you and Grace. That's not healthy. I'm looking into therapists. Also, I'm sorry for not seeing you, for not asking, for assuming you were less successful because it made me feel better about myself. You deserve better from your brother. It's a start, not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. That matters. Grace emails too. I told Mom and Dad about your Harper presentation, about the board meeting, about what you actually do. They didn't believe me at first. Then they Googled you. Did you know there are articles about you? Multiple articles, in real publications. Mom cried. Dad looked like he'd been punched. I think they're starting to understand what they missed, what they've been missing for years. I'm sorry I missed it too. I don't respond to either email immediately. I sit with them, process them, decide what, if anything, I want to do with this new awareness from my family. 2 weeks later, Mom calls, not texts, actually calls. Victoria, it's your mother. I was wondering, could we have coffee? Just the two of us. I'd like to talk. Actually talk and listen, if you're willing. I think about it for a long moment. Okay, but on my terms, my schedule, no ambushes, no guilt trips, just conversation. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. We meet at a coffee shop near my office. Mom arrives first, looking nervous. I arrive in my work clothes, tailored suit, professional but stylish. I look like what I am, a successful executive. You look powerful, Nan, Mom says. I am powerful, in my professional life at least. We order coffee. Sit. The silence stretches. I looked up Chen Industries, Mom says finally. I read about the Harper deal. I read articles that mentioned you. I looked at the company website and saw your bio. Your official bio, Victoria. It lists accomplishments I knew nothing about, awards I didn't know you won, projects I never heard about, and I realized I don't know my own daughter. No, you don't. I want to, if you'll let me. Why now? Because you found out I'm successful? Because a CEO embarrassed you? Because suddenly I'm worth knowing? Because I saw my daughter serving dinner in an apron to impress a man who turned out to be her boss. And I realized how badly I'd failed you, how blind I'd been, how much I'd missed. You didn't miss it, Mom. You ignored it. There's a difference. You're right. I ignored you. I chose to focus on Nathan and Grace because they needed me more. Or I told myself they did. Really, they were just louder, more demanding. And you were quiet, easy, so I took you for granted. For 32 years. For 32 years. And I can't fix that. I can't give you back those years. But I can do better now, if you'll let me. I sip my coffee. Think about chosen family versus blood family, about people who earn their place in your life versus people who expect it by default. Here's the thing, Mom. I've built a life I'm proud of, a career I love, relationships with people who see me and value me, and I did all of that without you, so I don't need you to be proud of me now. I don't need your validation. What I need is for you to understand that any relationship we have going forward is a choice I'm making, not an obligation I'm fulfilling. I understand. Do you? Because this means I won't always show up, I won't always cook, I won't always be available. I have a life that doesn't revolve around your needs, and you'll have to be okay with that. I can be okay with that. I want to be okay with that. We'll see. This is going to take time. Years, maybe, and I'm not promising anything, but I'm willing to try, slowly, carefully, with boundaries. Thank you. That's more than I deserve. Yes, it is. We finish our coffee, talk about neutral things, the weather, the city, nothing deep. But it's a start. Maybe. 3 months later, I'm at a company event, Chen Industries' annual gala. It's held at a hotel downtown, formal attire, the whole executive team in attendance. Robert finds me during cocktail hour. Victoria, you look well. Thank you, sir. So do you. I wanted to tell you, your Q4 numbers are exceptional. The Harper partnership is exceeding projections. The board is pleased. The team did excellent work. The team had excellent leadership. Don't deflect praise, Victoria. You earned this. I smile. I'm working on accepting compliments. It's a process. How's your family situation? Complicated. Improving slowly. My mother and I have coffee once a month. My siblings and I text occasionally. My father is still processing, but we're making progress, or at least we're trying to. Good. You deserve family that sees you. I have family that sees me. My team, my friends, the people I've chosen. Blood family is a bonus now, not a requirement. That's a healthy perspective. Later, I'm standing by the windows overlooking the city when Nathan appears. He's wearing a suit that doesn't quite fit. He looks out of place, because he is. What are you doing here, I ask. Mom told me about this event, about how important it is. I wanted to see your world, the one I've been ignoring. I look at my brother, really look at him. He's trying, not succeeding yet, but trying. This is my world, I say, gesturing to the ballroom full of executives and investors and people who change industries. These are my people. This is where I shine. And you've missed years of this because you were too busy comparing yourself to me instead of actually knowing me. I know, I'm sorry. I know you are, and I appreciate that you're here. But Nathan, understand something. This isn't about proving to you that I'm successful. I don't need you to witness my achievements to make them real. They're already real. They've always been real. Your awareness of them doesn't change their validity. I understand. Do you? Because I need you to understand that I'm not going to keep proving myself to this family. I'm not going to keep showing you what you refuse to see. Either you make an effort to actually know me, or we stay polite strangers who share DNA. Those are the options. I want to know you, really know you, not the version I made up in my head. Then start asking questions and actually listen to the answers. Robert approaches us. Victoria, I need to steal you for a moment. Board member introductions. Of course. I turn to Nathan. It was good to see you. Maybe we can have dinner sometime, somewhere I'm not cooking. He laughs. I'd like that. I walk away with Robert, back to my world, where I'm not the invisible daughter or the family help or the disappointing child. Where I'm Victoria Parker, VP of Strategic Partnerships, Corner Office, Lake House, Chosen Family. Where I'm finally, genuinely, undeniably seen. 6 months after the dinner that changed everything, I'm hosting Thanksgiving. In my house, with my chosen family, my team from work, college friends, people who've actually shown up to my life over the years. I extend an invitation to my blood family. You're welcome to come, but you're guests, not hosts. You don't get to take over. You don't get to criticize. You show up. You participate. You leave when it's over. Those are the terms. They come, all 4 of them. They're awkward and out of place among my friends and colleagues, but they're trying. Grace brings wine, Nathan brings flowers, Mom brings a dessert I didn't ask for but appreciate anyway. Dad is quiet, observing, finally starting to see me in my element. During dinner, one of my colleagues tells a story about the Harper negotiation, about how I refused to back down on a key point, about how I stood my ground against executives twice my age and won. Victoria is terrifying in negotiations, Marcus laughs. In the best way, she's polite, she's professional, she's also immovable when she knows she's right. Mom is listening, actually listening. I can see her processing this version of me, the competent one, the powerful one, the one who commands respect in rooms full of powerful people. After dinner, as people are leaving, Dad pulls me aside. I'm proud of you, he says. I should have said that years ago. I should have known to say it, but I'm saying it now. I'm proud of the woman you've become, despite us, not because of us. Thank you, I say, and I mean it, not because I needed to hear it, but because he needed to say it. That's growth, for both of us. As I'm cleaning up, Grace helps dry dishes. This is a nice life you've built, she says. These people really care about you. They do, because I let them, because I showed up as my real self. Can I be part of it, the real version? You already are. You're here. That's a start. That night, after everyone is gone, I stand in my living room looking out at the lake, my house, my life, my choices, my people. I think about the girl in the flower print apron, cooking dinner for people who didn't see her, who spent 32 years being invisible, who finally, spectacularly, demanded to be seen. That girl is still me, but she's also not me anymore, because being seen isn't something I wait for now. It's something I require from everyone in my life, blood family or chosen family, and anyone who can't meet that requirement doesn't get to stay. My phone buzzes, a text from Robert. Excellent hosting tonight. Your team clearly adores you. That's the sign of good leadership, people who choose to spend their free time with you. I smile and text back, "Thank you, sir. See you Monday." Monday, back to work, back to the place where I've always been seen, where I've always mattered, where I'm not the invisible daughter or the disappointing child or the family maid, where I'm just Victoria, and that finally is enough.